Morning, many people waking up to scenes just like this. We spotted trees down in multiple neighborhoods across our area as communities start the cleanup process from yesterday's severe storms and tornadoes.
We have team coverage this morning. We got Laura, of course, keeping track of the forecast. Lauren Victory is in Maryville, Indiana, and Darius Johnson, he's in Streator, two of the hardest hit areas. Let's start with Darius. Hey, Darius.
Hey there, Dave and Marissa. Good morning to you. Those down trees that you talked about is just a minor, something very minor damage left behind after these storms really swept through, decimating anything in its path this morning. We are here on the south side of Streator, and I want you to just take a look at this debris field. This is what is left behind. Back there in the distance, that is the home where the man that we've been showing you the video for over the last 16 hours, who was stuck under the rubble, that is that home right there and what is left of it. As we continue to pan towards the right, you can see where pieces of people's home have been scattered all across this area here. Even coming back this way, you can see where there is very little remaining at some of these homes not even having four walls to keep it standing, and some of them you're able to see directly inside. Take a look at some of the video that we've been able to gather from the Streator neighborhood this morning from this city. You can see what is left behind in this community as windows have been blown out from vehicles, as many of these homes have been ripped apart. Some of these homes no longer sitting on their foundation because of how strong this tornado was. At some points, you can see directly through some of these homes, and some of them have been turned inside out. You can see personal belongings, you can see memories, all the things that made these homes special places for people who once lived here. We had a chance to speak to some, or Alice Schultz particularly, who lives directly across the street. Her home was spared, but she cannot say the same for her neighbors that live right across the way from her. She tells us she went to her son's house right next door to hunker down in the basement. She walked out to see what was left of everything in her neighborhood. Take a listen to what she had to say.
I didn't like that he was outside, but no, in his basement, I didn't hear anything. You know, they say you hear the roar of the train. We didn't hear any of that.
Back out here live this morning, quite remarkable to hear her experience as she hunkered down in that basement while her son was brave enough to come outside and actually record the tornadoes as they were moving through. He said that there were two tornadoes, but we are still waiting to confirm that information from the National Weather Service. Again, Dave and Marissa, as I just mentioned, talking about these homes that are now turned inside out, that's a refrigerator right there. We could see the kitchen where that refrigerator once stood. So this is just the beginning of what many people are going to be experiencing, and this is just the beginning of that cleanup process. Again, many people say it's no longer about the storm itself. It's now the focus on their families. It's now the focus on putting the pieces back together after it's essentially been torn apart as a result of this tornado. We're live here in Streator this morning. I'm Darius Johnson, CBS News, Chicago.
And Darius, a lot of danger out there. We could see in your images that you're showing us these power lines down all over the place. Are you seeing any workers, power company workers out there? Is any part of the cleanup?
Yeah, or anyone from the town.
We see a lot of police that are blocking off so many neighborhoods, particularly this neighborhood, again, at Sandberry and Saratoga. This is one of the hardest hit areas on the south side. They have it blocked off. You cannot access this area. We had to walk quite a ways to get here. But again, even in the distance right here, you can see a transformer in that power pole that is now on the ground. This is what you're seeing in this area. No crews necessarily working right now. I think many of them were out here last night to shut off power, to shut off gas, to prevent anything like that. But you now are starting to see people who are surveying some of the damage and people who are getting on their roofs to be able to try to patch up what they can so people can possibly return home at any point.
All right, Darius, thanks. Earlier he was on this road and all of the power lines were down.
Right, it's very dangerous. Yeah, something to watch out for. Darius, thank you so much. We want to go now to a better look at the damage in Indiana.
That's where we find our Lauren Victory this morning. How's it looking out there, Lauren?
Good morning, Dave. Good morning, Marissa. Earlier, we were further south in Hebron. Now we've made our way to Maryville. This, where I'm standing, is one of more than a dozen properties on one block, Roosevelt Place, that suffered damage. I just spoke with the homeowners. They described this as their dog's paradise, but look at it now. Giant tree in the way, their gazebo's down, their barbecue is damaged. People here say that they feel like this tornado came out of nowhere. Cleanup has already started. This is the Wright Manor neighborhood in Maryville, and if you look left or right, you could see tree limbs everywhere. In some cases, roofs are torn off. Susan Anderson Rivera describes how the storm came barreling through.
It was horrible. It was horrible. I mean, the winds was high. Oh, my shutters was just flapping, and I had to try to rush and close the windows, and it was just a lot of wind, and I heard a big boom. And then I heard the tree hit the house.
CBS Skywatch gives us a bird's eye view of some other wreckage left behind in Maryville. Andrean High School is closed because of roof damage. A tornado also hit further south in Hebron, Indiana.
Try to get into the crawl space, which is in our laundry room. We couldn't even lift the door up to get into the crawl space because of the pressure.
So that's about a half hour away from here. That's the Bowen family you just heard from. They've lived in their Hebron home for almost 40 years, and after riding out the storm in their laundry room, they discovered that their house, garage, and pole barn all took a hit. Their cars and motorcycles got pummeled. Beth Bowen says it sounded like a freight train.
Heard the roof tear off, and we heard the windows blow out, and we felt the house move, you know, picked up and slammed back down, but we're just glad to be alive.
Back out here live, just want to show you the damage on the next block over that we haven't been able to see in person, but this playground is just toppled over. You might hear some chainsaws going as well as some generators. NIPSCO is estimating about 4,900 people are still without power, including the homeowners here, but they are grateful to be alive. I'm Lauren Victory reporting in Maryville, Indiana, CBS News Chicago.
Yeah, strikes you when you hear that, thankful to be alive after going through something like that.
Surprising, we're not hearing many injuries right now.
Yeah, absolutely.